Okay, so in class today I'll be presenting on my disease video assignment. My first disease is salmonella and my second disease is malaria. So just waiting for this to load. Yeah. My first disease, salmonella, so let's get started. So this is my table of contents. I'll be introducing the subject, talking about the infective and causal agents, classifying it, talking about the contraction and spread of the disease, the symptoms of the disease, the fatality rates worldwide and in Canada, some treatment options, who studied the disease, some interesting facts, and finally the conclusion. So let's get started. So the introduction was what is salmonella? So they are a genus of rod-shaped gram-negative bacteria. The two main species of salmonella are Salmonella enterica and Salmonella brongori. Um, the key concept, the infective and causal agents. So it's a bacteria, and they belong to a class of bacterium known as Salmonella. According to John Hopkins Medicine, they are spread from one person to another through animal feces or excrement. So yeah, now the classification of Salmonella. So the taxons of the disease. So you can see its taxonomic ranks. The domain is bacteria, kingdom is bacteria, phylum is Proteobacteria, class is Gamma Proteobacteria, order is Enterobacterialis, family is Enterobacteriaceae. I'm not sure if I said that right. Genus is Salmonella, and the species is Salmonella enterica. So now the contraction and spread of the disease. So it's transmitted to people by eating contaminated food mixed with feces, and it's spread between one person and another through the fecal oral route, and it can be transmitted by food or water. So here the organs and organ systems affected by salmonella. As you can see, the kidney, small intestine, large intestine, and the stomach. And the organ systems affected are the circulatory system, respiratory system, nervous system, muscular system, etc. So now the symptoms of salmonella. So what are the symptoms? How do I know if I have the disease? So the symptoms of salmonella include fever, headache, diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, vomiting, etc. Now the fatality rates of salmonella, how likely is someone to die from it? So the CDC estimates 1 million people in the United States get sick from eating contaminated food. The illness usually lasts 4 to 7 days. With treatment, so most people usually recover in this time. So here's just some data analysis. So salmonella worldwide. The worst rates of salmonella was in the 1990s, but we've slowly gotten better. This graph here with the food, it shows the food that makes people get salmonella the most, with chicken being the first, followed by eggs. And here salmonella in Canada. So as you can see, the ages 0 to 4 have the highest rates because these are children. They're most likely to like play in the sand and stuff, not wash their hands, and eat contaminated food. So yeah. Next, some treatment options. Has the vaccine been developed? So there's no vaccine currently to prevent the human infection. However, farmers and scientists they found a way to vaccine these chickens and turkeys in order to make them not carry this bacteria in order to pass it on to humans. So how to prevent salmonella by washing your hands, cooking and storing your food in appropriate temperatures, and being careful when handling animals. So who studied the disease? So an American epidemiologist, Theobald Smith in 1855 discovered the disease. And no one has found a cure yet. But a microbiologist, Emma Beerson at ARS's Food Safety, she developed a current antibiotics to be used against the disease. So some interesting fact about salmonella are the disease itself doesn't affect the taste, smell, appearance of food. It's one of four key global causes of diarrheal disease, and it can pass through the entire food chain from animal feed primary production to household or food services. So now my conclusion, Salmonella is a genus rod-shaped gram-negative bacteria. Salmonella enterica and Bongori are the two types of Salmonella, and it can result in salmonellosis, which is a foodborne illness. So this is my APA references from my first presentation. Now moving on to the second, which is malaria. So yeah, it's basically the same concept I'll be talking about. The introduction, what is malaria? It's a life-threatening disease caused by parasites transmitted to people through the bites of infected female Anopheles mosquitoes, according to the World Health Organization. So now the infective and causal agents, I don't know where that is. Yeah, infective and causal agents, it's a parasite, it's a protista, so yeah. Classification, its phylum is Ampliocomplexa, its order is Hemosporidia, its family is Plasmodiae, its genus is Plasmodium, and its species is Malariae, ovale, Vivax, and Falciparum. So the contraction and spread of malaria. So how does one get malaria? It's usually through the bites of female Anopheles mosquitoes. It's solely spread by the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquitoes, but it can also be spread by blood from infected people or using contaminated or dirty needles. So yeah, it can also be spread through mother to fetus as well. So pregnant ladies. So organs and organ systems affected. So the organs affected by malaria include the liver, kidneys, lungs, and brain. And the organ systems affected are the circulatory system, respiratory system, nervous system, etc. So the symptoms of malaria: fever, chills, headache, vomiting, diarrhea. The most common symptoms are episodes of fever and chills. So the fatality rates of malaria. So in 2021, nearly half the world's population was at risk for malaria. The average mortality rate by gender is 44.9% for females and 51.1% for males. So there's some data analysis. As you can see, it's mainly in Africa and the Southern Asia region. So that's India, etc. It's not really in North America, as these mosquitoes don't really only exist in these tropical climates. So yeah. They usually exist in like swampy areas, so you don't really find many like swamps in Canada and stuff. So treatment options for malaria. Has a vaccine been discovered? There has been a vaccine. There is a vaccine in place. Um, this is the infective and causal agents. I don't know why this is here. Yeah. The vaccine is called the RTS-S. It's been approved by the WHO. Um, some medications for malaria are Malarone, chloroquine, and obviously the vaccine. So to prevent malaria, we should all cover our skin, spray insecticide regularly, and apply repellent to our clothes. So, who studied the disease? So, Dr. Alphonse Leveran, a military doctor in France, is the person that discovered the disease, and Emmanuel Elkin Pateroy is who is the person, and his team are the people that found the cure and the current vaccine for malaria. So, some interesting facts about malaria include um, that nearly 300,000 children under the age of 5 died of malaria in 2016. Um, among all communicable disease, malaria is the third largest killer of children between 1 month and 5 years, following pneumonia and diarrhea. So now my conclusion: malaria is a parasite caused by the Plasmodium protozoa. The age rate of death varies between 0 and 96 years of age, with the average age being 25.9%, and there is a vaccine currently in place for malaria. This is my APA citation reference, and with that, that concludes my presentation. Thank you all for listening, and yeah, have a good day.